The journey to Iona fed our spirits with a return to the Hebridean Christianity of our childhood. We could especially hear the voice and feel the spirit of the Reverend Dr. Lord George MacLeod, founder of the Iona community at the Abbey, where MacLeod was noted for giving bardic Celtic prayers like this one, "The Glory in the Grey." It captures the landscape and the soul of Iona for us, and we hope it will for you too.
The glory in the gray. Almighty God, Creator, in these last days storm has assailed us, grayness has enveloped, and mist surrounded our going out and our coming in. Now again thy glory clarifies, thy light lifts up our hearts to thee, and night falls in peace. But through mist and storm and sunshine, the crops have ripened here, and vines of Spain have grown. Thy constant care in all and everywhere is manifest.
Almighty God, Redeemer, even as with our bodies, so also with our souls. Redeemer Christ, sunshine and storm, mist and grayness eddy round our inner lives. But as we trace the pattern, looking back, we know that both darkness and light have been of thine ordaining for our own soul's health. Thy constant care in all and everywhere is manifest.
Almighty God, Sustainer, Sun behind all suns, Soul behind all souls, everlasting reconciler of our whole beings, show to us in everything we touch and in everyone we meet the continued assurance of thy presence round us, lest ever we should think thee absent. In all created things thou art there. In every friend we have, the sunshine of thy presence is shone forth.
In every enemy that seems to cross our path, thou art there within the cloud, to challenge us to love. Show to us the glory in the gray. Awake for us thy presence in the very storm, till all our joys are seen as thee, and all our trivial tasks emerge as priestly sacraments in the universal temple of thy love.
Of ourselves we cannot see this. Sure physician, give us sight. Of ourselves we cannot act. Patient lover, give us love. Till every shower of rain speaks of thy forgiveness, till every storm assures us that we company with thee, and every move of light and shadow speaks of grave and resurrection, to assure us that we cannot die, thou creating, redeeming, and sustaining God.
I felt the silence so palpable throughout the Abbey worship services, even just before and just after each service. The silence was replete with a combined spiritual presence and power of prayer from each member of the congregation.
John Philip Newell writes that Celtic spirituality at the time of Columba, Aidan, and Cuthbert was based on listening for the heart of God. They found it in the essential goodness of creation and in the image of God in all humanity. God is at the heart of all life, not just in the solitude of the monk's hut or in the church. The whole of life is a source of revelation. This is what I sensed and confirmed on this path, tracing the footsteps of Aidan with my parish friends, my daughter, and the people we met on Iona and Melrose and on Lindisfarne. This is what I brought home. a spirituality of awareness to listening for the heartbeat of God in all of life, the mystical, the mundane, the political, an aim for the good in service to humankind. There are two images on the island that symbolize, for me, this realization of the meaning of the holy in creation and the daily labors of life. First, the tall stone Celtic crosses standing over the ages on the island of Iona, reaching upward to heaven, yet set firmly in the earth. Their short arms of the cross holding fast to the earth as it weathers the winds of this sometimes harsh environment. Secondly, the statue of Aidan on Lindisfarne, with a humble, kind face, holding the light of Christ.
The Ceilidh is a Scottish dance form that is high energy and great fun. We were so glad to be invited to the village hall for lessons and dancing. The photos are blurred because we're moving so fast. Fellowship alongside the silent walks and quiet moments are holy times.
Some of my ancestors were from Scotland, so I was interested in seeing the beautiful country, and I took a lot of pictures. But learning about the lives of St. Aidan and his followers really impressed me. Their faith and trust of God was astonishing. They endured harsh weather, demanding schedules of worship, often in the middle of the night, and strenuous work. When the Vikings discovered that the peaceful community would not defend themselves or the church property, they would routinely raid the island, destroying what they didn't want to steal. Still, this outpost stayed true to their call from God and resolutely prayed and worshiped.
On Holy Island, the larger-than-life statue of St. Aidan positively took my breath away each time I saw him outside our dining room window. There was a special exhilaration that I felt each time I peered out that window.
The British hymnals didn't have music in them, just the words. Being on pilgrimage is rather like singing from a hymnal where you don't have the music. There's a goal, but how to get there. During the Sunday service at St. Mary's, on a site where Aidan had worshipped 1,000 years ago, I had the words, but not the tune. Where am I going? And I think this song should go faster. In vain I fight the tempo for 2 stanzas to speed it up. But I alone can't energize the organ or 80 other people. I finally give in and relax into the other's rhythm. Now at peace, I can listen. I have to listen. There are no notes to tell me where I should go. At first disquieting, the lack of a map of notes becomes freeing. Though part of this chorus, part of the pilgrimage, there is room for the individual. An alto across the aisle begins to sing in a range and tone that speaks to me. Without the notes, I begin to harmonize. Not the same unison as the others, nor even of that unknown alto on the epistle side, but my own line, something that works with hers and with the others. Then I hear Nancy's beautiful soprano in a sweet descant above the line, making a harmony of praise. Being on pilgrimage is like singing without the guidance or bondage of the notes, with companions, but not marching in lockstep. On pilgrimage, without the notes of our usual routine, we flow with the group, listening to others, but with the freedom to improvise, creating a harmony of pilgrimage together.
Well, to start with, the sheer beauty of the countryside and the sheep and the rock walls and the hedgerows and the ruins and the beautiful old churches we were in. But I really enjoyed being part of our pilgrimage group. I got to know some people that I knew but not very well a lot better, and I got to know some people that I really didn't know at all. And that was wonderful. And I liked feeling like I was part of that community, but also of the community of saints, of a community going much larger and much older than me or than our little pilgrimage group. And it is a miracle to me that these places that we visited had meaning for me. This would not ever have been true 5 years ago, before I started coming to St. Aidan's.
You know, I was especially moved by the life of St. Cuthbert, and I got to spend some time on Cuthbert's Island, which is a very tiny island just off of Lindisfarne that you can walk to when the tide is down. And there are the remains of some structures on that island, and there's grass and some wildflowers, and someone put up a little simple wooden cross. So the thing with Cuthbert is when he was a shepherd boy, he had this vision of a soul being carried to heaven by angels, and it turned out to be the same night that St. Aidan died. And this vision led him into the monastic life. He lived through the plague and became the prior after the previous prior died of the plague. And you know, another interesting thing about Cuthbert is that he was a hermit by nature, but he had this balance of being able to go and talk to the people, and you know, bring Christianity to the people in the community. And he was also probably one of the world's first animal activists, active activists. They even have a duck they call Cuddy's duck, and there's also a very nice story of him praying in the sea and the sea otters coming up and drying him off. And I love that image also, those images of him with the animals and his passion for the animals. That really resonates a lot with me. As you know, I love animals. And another thing that happened was after he had died, you know, the marauding Vikings had come through that area, and other monks carried his coffin around all over the place, and he ended up finally being buried at Durham Cathedral, and we went there too. I was just I just really appreciate what he stood for and his image. I don't know whether he even meant to be, to mean these things to anyone, but he was such an example of balance, and that means a lot to me personally.
I felt the sense of community from the beginning of the pilgrimage, learning of the trials and the triumphs of the lives of those I met, not only from St. Aidan's but from the other countries, and all of their spiritual journeys.
A good man, who in his day pleased God, Aidan, light of Northumbria.